Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nneka and I curate content on Naija Canada Girl here on YouTube and also on Instagram. By the way, if you aren't following me on Instagram, you're missing a whole lot. I have this really interesting series I started last year called Immigrant Diaries, and that is where people who are immigrants in Canada who landed from 1 year ago to even up to 10 years ago share their experiences. So all the questions you might have about, what's the job market like? What sort of, how I know I get a lot of questions about you being anxious about the unknown. Now I have real life people sharing their real life experience, from everything to career, to lifestyle, to dating, relationships. You could just hop in there and that would give you more insight as to what life really is like in Canada. And don't forget, everyone's stories is the same or aren't the same. Everyone has different stories. So please hop in there, read all the stories, follow me on Instagram if you aren't following me yet. And yes, like I said, my name is Nneka and I curate content here on how you can settle, survive, and make the most of being an immigrant in Canada. You could go through my previous videos as those may answer some of the questions you already have. In this particular video, however, I will be sharing tips on things you can do if you land Canada as a permanent resident during this quarantine. I know, guys, it's been crazy. Like the whole quarantine lockdown, it's got us like this. Everything is restricted and all that. But guess what? There's still a number of things you can do even if you land Canada in this period. So I'll be sharing some quick updates first of all about what it's like to land Canada as a permanent resident during this quarantine, and also some things you could still do to make the most of your 14-day quarantine period. Now, if this is something you're interested in, don't go anywhere. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing tips on how you can cope landing Canada in this quarantine period. I know 14 days might seem like a lot of time to be stuck at home because you have to quarantine compulsorily due to the restrictions placed by the government, but there are things you can actually still do during that period, and I'll be touching on that shortly. But first of all, some quick updates about landing Canada, visiting Canada, arriving Canada, whether as a permanent resident. By the way, right now I think only permanent residents, citizens, or visitors coming to visit family members, immediate family members are allowed to land Canada anyways. But this is specifically for people who are landing Canada as permanent residents. These restrictions apply to everyone, but my video is specifically for people landing as permanent residents. So let's start with the new updates. So first of all, there is now going to be a compulsory COVID test when you land Canada, right there at the airport. Now, after the test is done, you will then be going to a hotel, a designated hotel at your own expense. And according to the Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, the anticipated cost shouldn't be anything less than $2,000. You will be staying in that hotel for 3 days waiting for the result of the test to come out. Now, when the result of the test comes out, if you're negative, you can then go to wherever destination you were going to, so say a family's house or an Airbnb, and still quarantine for 14 days. So yes, guys, if you're landing Canada right now, it's brutal. You need to make sure you have $2,000 minimum because you'll be staying in a hotel, not just any hotel, a designated one by the government, and it's going to be for 3 days until your result is out. So what I feel about all this is it's great actually, because I think the main the motive behind this is just to make sure that people do not travel unnecessarily at this point. So it started today, Sunday. It started on Sunday, and it's going to last till about 30th of April. Now, by 30th of April, they might decide to review and decide if to continue or if to stop. So this is something you need to consider now if you'd be landing Canada. So this is the quick update I was going to provide before now diving into what you could do within your 14-day quarantine period. Okay, so now I know 14 days might seem like a lot of time. You might feel like, oh, I just landed and I'm ready to hit the ground running. I don't know, I'm being restricted. There's so much I can't do. But I'm just trying to share some things you can actually do within your 14 days. Some really useful, productive things that you can still do in your 14 day. Number one would be looking for settlement organizations online. Now, bear in mind that everything is now online. Businesses that used to, operate face to face, apart from essential services, everything is now online. We have a lot of settlements, government approved settlement organizations here in Canada that are just there to help you settle into Canada at no charge. They offer settlement services. So things like helping you learn a second language if you like. The two languages they offer are either English or French. Things like giving you employment tips. Things like helping you arrange and organize and restructure your resume into the Canadian standard, and other settlement advice you might need. I know there is Newcomers Center, there's settlement.org, and there are many other of these. There's Access Employment. There are many of these government approved organizations that could help you settle in better. So I feel like one of the first things you could do is reach out to them. They might even already have some more resources than you do about settling in Canada or about things you could do during the 14-day period. Reach out to them, go online, Google some of them in your area, find out what their email is. Obviously, they would have a contact email. Reach out to them and express, explain yourself, express your intentions, and just let them know what you want exactly. And they'll be able to respond to you with some feedback. So that's one of the things you can do. So the next thing you can do during this period is to start putting your resume together. Now, if you hadn't previously started networking before you arrived Canada, and by networking, I mean reaching out to people concerning your career, either on LinkedIn, either through mutual friends or other organizations. Like, I know there is BPTM. This is Black Professionals in Tech Network. So if you're Black, you're a professional, and you're looking to, work in tech or already work in tech, these are organizations you could reach out to. They have hubs they could add you to. And you could already start networking with other people in your career field right now, even in your 14 days lockdown period. Go to LinkedIn, create a template for an introduction, an introductory type email. Introduce yourself, explain to them that you're landed and you just need tips about the industry. So this is a good time to build your network, and nothing stops you from applying. As soon as you've been able to structure your resume into that Canadian standard with the assistance of some settlement and employment organizations, or even people you might reach out to on LinkedIn, you can begin applying to jobs. That is one thing, I'm really happy that there is no restriction on. Right there from the comfort of your home, you could apply on Indeed.ca, on LinkedIn Careers, on Glassdoor. You could start reaching out to all these organizations. So if you see an opening you feel you're qualified for, of course, give it a shot. Put in your cover letter, put in your resume, and just wait to see how that goes. So job applications do not stop even though you are at home in this 14 days. In any case, by the time any of these employers begin hiring, or when you get hired, you would still be working from home anyways. So I feel this is something you can definitely reach out to them for. If you have questions about particular jobs posted by the hiring manager on LinkedIn, you could reach out to them and just put in your resume into those applications and see how that goes. So yes, network. This is that time to slide into DMs. In the career field, there's no shame in doing this. Just be polite and make sure you have a template introducing yourself, and don't just say hi. Because I noticed on LinkedIn, some people just say hi and I most likely will not respond. It's not an IM, it's not an instant messaging app. But when you say hi, and that's why I'm recommending a template, and you actually state your intention, who you are, your intention, and close it out nicely, looking forward to your feedback. I'm sure you get some responses. Now, the third thing you can do, even as a landed individual within your 14 days quarantine period, is you can do a lot of research. Now, this is related to your lifestyle. Now, you would need a lot of help in getting around, getting things you want. So, for example, where is the nearest African store around me? where can I buy plantain? What grocery stores actually have plantain? Now, cheat sheet here. You can actually Google many of these things, and you could just type plantain Walmart, and if Walmart has plantain, it would actually come up. Plantain no frills. If they have no frills, it would come up in the search. So you can begin checking to see. You could Google African stores near me. You know, you can start looking for things, and you don't have to do this alone. It's also a great time to network. Now, this isn't networking for the purpose of career, but just to make friends, to build support systems, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's some YouTuber you've been watching. Hint. Whether it's some YouTuber you've been watching, you could just slide into their DM just to find out certain things about that particular city you'd be living in. Like, hey, I just landed and I was wondering where I could buy things like a carton of chicken. What places can I buy African foods like honey beans, you know? So it's time to actually start sliding into DMs and taking advantage of all these people that put this sort of content out there. And I don't know, you could just start planning your life even within the 14 days so that by the time the 14th day is actually done, you can hit the ground running. If you'll be moving around through public transportation, you could check to see what the prices of bus passes are, just so that you can also start budgeting. And now, because you'd be spending a lot, one of the things you also need to do is set up a bank account. So while you might not be able to go into the bank physically to set up the bank account, you could reach out to whatever banks, whether it's by sending them an emails or just reaching out to them through their social media, just to ask questions you might have regarding opening an account. Something else you can do is, now you need a formal ID, and one of the easiest ones to get is your driver's license. Now, your driver's license can be given to you when you write. So now, this is me speaking as a resident of Ontario. In Ontario, you can get your driver's license from when you write your first driving test, which is a knowledge test. So when you land here, you actually need to be able to drive, you actually need to go through a couple of tests. The first one is actually a knowledge test. So that's like a written test you could actually write, and after your written test is done, you'd be mailed your driver's license. So you can start going to those websites depending on what province you live in. I know here in Canada is Drive Test. I think drivetest.ca. Here in Ontario rather. So you could slide into their website, see if their open registration dates you could, register, and obviously they should be after your 14-day quarantine period. See if there are openings you could register for, to go take that knowledge test so that you can be on the way to getting your driver's license. Now, something else you can also do is that you can passively start house hunting. And I say passively because obviously it's 14 days. You can't really have any contact with anyone until you're done. But you can start going to housing websites. Go to Kijiji.ca, go to Facebook Marketplace, go to Realtor.ca, go to Rentals.ca, and begin to see what the prices of houses in areas you might want to live in are like. Begin to see the sort of amenities they have. If you're looking to share a room with a roommate, by the way, I'll be posting a video next week about sharing a room with a roommate, as I see that is the option a lot of people are going for right now, especially singles landing here in Canada. Okay, sorry for the digression. So yes, begin checking people who are looking to rent a room to a housemate within their home. So these are some of the research you can start doing within your 14-day period. Now, I hope this has been helpful, and this list is not exhaustive, right? So these are some of the things, just over the top of my head, I'm thinking you could do, but you could also do your own research. And guys, please, I can't say this enough, network. Look for WhatsApp groups, look for pages. My friend, her name is Titi Lola. She actually has a page on Instagram called letsbefriends.ca. You would actually see a lot of people that might connect with you. You might find that they're in your career field, or they might live in the city you live in. Slide into those DMs and ask the questions you have so that you do not feel alone. And by the time your 14th day is done, you could hit the ground running. But then again, guys, no pressure. Do things at your own pace. If you actually want to take out the 14 days to just sleep and rest, trust me, you are good. So guys, thank you for watching. Please do not forget to like this video and hit the subscribe button, and most importantly, share with your friends who have already landed and are in quarantine, or who are also looking to land in this period. Please make use of my comment section if you have any other feedback, if there's anything I have failed to mention, if there's any update to the updates I gave. Please comment, because we are all learning here. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Till my next video guys, continue staying safe. Bye.